Um, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to not make money when the money is good. And what we are seeing right now are a lot of derivative projects. We are seeing a lot of integrations finally coming out. We are seeing a whole bunch of smart chains coming out as well. Ethereum was definitely the first. Binance came in as a very quick second. We're now seeing Cardano is getting some traction. AVAX has gotten some traction. Phantom has gotten some traction. Kronos has gotten some traction. XRP, it looks like the lawsuit is coming to an end. If there is one coin, and I'll give you this for free because I don't care who hears this, if there is one coin that should be in your portfolio, it should absolutely be XRP. I believe that XRP is a $20 coin, completely undervalued and held under siege by this frivolous lawsuit by the district attorney of New York, the state of New York, and also the SEC calling it a security. The SEC didn't know what to do when they basically said, listen, we'll disclose all of our documents as long as you guys disclose how much XRP you guys have bought during during the lawsuit that you brought up against us. And the SEC was unwilling to, and so they rightfully so refused to share their documents because the SEC was holding a lawsuit specifically to stop the trajectory of this coin. I need everyone to hear this and hear this good. Like, what's going on in the crypto space right now? The biggest winner in the crypto space will be that company or that coin or that project that develops effective on ramps and off ramps. Okay, so where we are at this moment is that more people own crypto than own bank accounts worldwide. But the whole entire process of changing fiat into crypto is not straightforward for the majority of the world. Okay, so an on ramp is necessary. An on ramp, if you think of crypto as a highway, you have an on ramp to get on it and an off ramp to get off, and both of those lead to the fiat world. So one comes from the fiat world and one leads to the fiat world. And what you need to understand is that the reason that XRP and Ripple Labs has been under investigation the way that they have been, specifically here in the US, is because of the number of banks that they're already partnered with. I need you guys to understand that the moment that Ripple Labs, this lawsuit is done, that the on-ramps and off-ramps for fiat to crypto, everybody, basically I'd say over 95% of the world that owns a bank account will have an on and off ramp. That's why Ripple has been under siege. Because you start taking a look and you start taking a look. TD Bank is a partner, right? Toronto Dominion. You start taking a look at Scotiabank. You start taking a look at Santander. You start taking a look at some of the Swiss banks that are partnered. You start taking a look at BC bank. That's the British Columbian Bank. And you would think like, oh, that's only one thing, but no, it's bigger than that. Understand that Canadian banks run all the banks of the Caribbean and the CARICOM. So just by partnering with banks, banks specifically in Canada, they get two regions, and they've done that effectively. So Toronto Dominion, BC, Scotiabank, Santander, all these Canadian banks, you go down into Royal Bank, you start going down into the Caribbean, and you start seeing, Royal Caribbean, CIBC. You start seeing Scotiabank down there, but they're all connected back to the Canadian banks. Then you start taking a look at those same banks, and this is important for you guys to understand, those same Canadian banks own most of the US banks as well. And most people do not understand that. But Canadian banks and UK banks in particular own the majority of the banks in the world, which is how come this is going on the way that it's going on. Okay. Right now we are also seeing a very, very big push for derivatives. Everyone that's bought like a smart contract coin. So, one of the best ones is probably Shiba Inu that everyone has heard of and has seen the explosive growth, and they're wondering what the heck happened. What I need you to understand is the best description for these coins, for these smart contracts, it's to make an analogy between them and the stock market and derivatives. Okay? And so derivatives might be very, very difficult to understand, and the tokenomics might be hard for you to go ahead and get your head around. But what I need you to understand is that derivatives is also what made the stock market the most money since 1980. So it might be hard to wrap your head around what is going on because it's changing very, very rapidly, but it's not anything that we haven't seen before. Okay? Well, what's very interesting is I moved to Philadelphia in 2003, and I remember I saw the beginning of gentrification in Philadelphia in 2003. But being from New York, I already knew the play. I already saw how it is that they were going to do it. What amazed me, though, is how quickly it happened. It happened faster than it happened in New York. And what we are seeing right now in the crypto space is that what has happened in the stock market, what has happened in the private investing space, what has happened in all those spaces is happening again here in the crypto market. Same thing with the housing market. It's happening again here in the crypto market. It just happens to be happening faster. And so everyone is confused about why it's happening or what the next move is, etc. But, our best indicator for the future is the past. And so if we see that derivatives are going to make a bunch of money, right, then we understand that derivatives is something we need to take a look at. If we understand that banks make a ton of money and credit and lending makes a ton of money, that it's going to make a ton of money here in the crypto space. One of the biggest areas for revenue generation here in the crypto world is actually individuals going out and lending their crypto in order for users to use their crypto to make purchases, but have it with a fully collateralized loan. Where did they get that idea from? They got that directly from the banking sector and the real estate sector. It is not new. Everyone's scratching their head, and I don't get how they don't see it. NFTs in the crypto space are like houses for the banking space. Why do you think that people could loan out their NFTs and get rent? It's because we've already seen that in a different sector. Why do you think people could loan out money and get interest? It's because we've already seen that in a different sector. Now, the how might be different, but the result is still the same. And it's that there are tons of opportunity for those that understand what is going on in order to make money. The other thing that I encourage you all to do is to, on Netflix, it might be Netflix or it might be Apple TV. I can't remember which one. I'm going to give you guys two documentaries to watch. One is called Poverty Inc., and the second one is called The Requiem for the American Dream. Okay? And the reason why I want you guys to watch these in particular is I want you to understand that poverty is big business. I'm going to say that one again. Poverty is big business. So when we see what crypto is doing and providing outlets specifically for the unbanked people of the world, understand that it is big business. People typically, discount. They're like, oh, well, I'm only serving this and I'm only serving that and da 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 da. But understand that small pieces of a whole bunch of pies add up to a whole lot. Okay? And so I need you to understand what they've done in the past, what people in power and agencies in power have done in the past, to understand why it is that crypto is moving so quickly. The other thing, the Requiem for the American Dream, talks specifically about where we are at in this country and how it is, how the American dream is dead because of how quickly things are progressing. And what I have always told people is that in this financial game, and it is a game, there are winners and there are losers, and your only objective is to be on the winning team. Period. Point blank. Right? I understand that for every seller there needs to be a buyer. For every buyer there needs to be a seller. And if you do not know where you fall in that transaction, if you do not understand what the opposing party is getting out of the transaction, I guarantee you've already lost in that negotiation. You already lost that game. So don't get hung up on everything else. Come to grips with the fact that there's only one source of money, and that's other people. I'm going to say that again. There's only one source of money, and that's other people. So understand that what we need to do in order to secure our family's legacy, in order to secure, long-term financial stability, is that we absolutely, beyond a shadow of a doubt, need to make sure that we are consistently winning. And that means that we need to be shrewd in our business dealings, not unfair, but shrewd, and understand that there is a way. There's this podcast too that, not podcast, but audio book that I will suggest, The Science of Getting Rich. It is a very dry audio book to listen to. I will say that first, but I will say that the information on there is second to none. There is a way for you to actually be a benefit to your own life and your own pockets without taking away from others. And when you find that space and exactly how it is that you maneuver in that space, then everything that you need just comes to you. So, I suggest those three pieces of media. Consume them. Watch what else you consume outside of that, because media consumption has the ability to either increase your capacity of belief, or it has the ability to entertain the consciousness out of you. But understand that where we are at, we are in the middle of the greatest wealth transfer of our lifetimes, and potentially the greatest wealth transfer of all history, at least since the 1400s. And the reason why I say the 1400s is because that's when central banking as a whole became central banking. And those early central banks gave birth to oligarchs, gave birth to kingdoms, gave birth to superpowers. But we are in the midst of a transfer of that power away from a centralized location to a decentralized public. So that's what's going on. Plug in. I'm super excited about what's going on in the crypto space. This is going to be an incredible year. Bitcoin is showing everything that I wanted her to show in order to estimate $100,000 a coin or more. Ethereum is showing all the sides of a $10,000 coin, but still, hands down, XRP, I'm telling you, that is a $20 coin when it's all said and done, and that's about a 25x from where she's at right now. So D, that's all I got. I don't got much more to say.
Okay, cool. Couple of things. Does anyone have any questions for David? Thank you so much on that information. Definitely. I've been hearing about XRP since day one when I got invested. Actually, that's one of the first coins I purchased too. Bought some at like 50 cents back then. So, yeah. definitely you guys want to purchase some XRP. David actually, he just put out a crypto play for XRP. And me and Tawana were actually just looking at those numbers, and based off of what he's talking about, and his goes to $20 a coin, that play right there is the hugest transfer of wealth, like he just said. But it's definitely one of those, he puts out plays that if you are paying attention, you can definitely build your crypto portfolio. And here's the thing, there's something for everyone in there, because there's some things that, can everyone mute themselves, please? Thank you. Sorry, that's the teacher in me. I can hear all the echoes. Yeah, so definitely seeing it through my frame of mind off. But however, what I'm going to do is, with David, we are in the crypto kingdom right now. Okay. Mm-hmm. So if you all want some access to him, okay, I'm going to drop the link in the chat right now for the crypto kingdom. And what you can do is you can enroll in that program. You'll have access to David. I'm in there as well, and all the information. And let me tell you, it is loaded. There's tons and tons of value. And actually right now it's $100 a month, but there's some people, some of us, we invested into other projects, but we paid about $1,500 for it. And that's going to be the value of it soon. So it's kind of up to you right now. You can get in, at $100 a month, but soon it's going to be $1,500 because the value in the product. Yep. And I think there's about 5 or 6 of us on here that can vouch for the value in it and why we've invested in it. So in the chat, I'm going to drop the link for the Crypto Kingdom. And David, I really, really appreciate you. I know you're in, what does he say, the Appalachian Mountains or something?
Yeah, the Appalachian Mountains.
You don't look like you in the mountains with that clean cut. Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time. Does anyone have any questions for David?
Did you mention Crypto Kingdom? Did you have some stock flip in that thing?
Oh, I didn't. You need to unmute yourself.
I was saying, David, did you have more spots in your King Kong matrix you want to tell them about, or?
Yeah, so I do have 8. I'll let D kind of tell anyone and everyone that kind of wants to be a part of that. We're about 60 days away from launch. I'm building out an MLM specifically around the DeFi token that I believe in very, very heavily, with very limited crypto plays, 5 a month maximum, just because of the cost. But, one of the things that I believe about this crypto space in general is that it's for everyone. So the entry on that is 50 cents, but I'll let you know, right around 50 cents at current price. But I'll let you know based on the numbers that we've done when we launch. I don't know anywhere else that you could take a 50-cent investment, put in some sweat equity, and grow it to 7 figures. But that's exactly what's been outlined before the investment part. That's just the sweat equity. So if you guys know my methodology of investing, understand that we take active money to create passive money, and then passive money to grow our portfolio. So it's a multi-step process. But then once you get to the point that you have passive money coming in, and I see some of the people here, and they could attest that $1,000 a day, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a day is doable. And when you get to that point, you look at money very differently. When you have wake up money, where you just wake up and press a button and you have money. And a lot of people got to experience that over this first quarter, and super excited to continue down that path. But yeah, King Kong Matrix is going to be incredible. It's also going to be a massive place specifically for the developing world, because when we take a look at things that we've done in the past in the MLM space, a lot of countries got left out only because of the cost of entry, the barrier of entry. So if we take that away, we have the ability, very much like crypto, to reach a lot of the unbanked people and people that are way below the poverty line and help them have a nice come up.
Hey, this is Kimmy. I just wanted to say real quickly, there are a lot of my ministry people here in this space. And for the one reason that I invested heavily with David is because he's honest about it. He said the word MLM. Everybody in my space knows that I am not the greatest MLM person. In fact, I think I almost have an aversion to it. But the fact that he actually said it and he put it out there right away, there are a lot of crypto things that sound like they're great investments, but the bottom line is they're MLMs. And one of our very first meetings, after he dropped the honest truth, I sent this brother some money right away. I did not hesitate. I didn't say, oh, let me think about it. I think Ishraq and I are in over 10 G's with David and his projects right now. And it was only because of one thing. And he was honest about what was out there. And for that laid it all out for me. So, start where you guys are going to start. But I'm just saying to you that people who know me, I ain't going to part with my money like that. I sent this brother money right away, 35 minutes after I got off the phone with him. So just take that as what you will. But for people who know me, that's what I did.
Yes.
Yep. AD, listen, my computer, there's no outlet by me, and I'm down to like 25%. So I'm about to hop off, so I don't need to wait like 15 minutes to let this thing charge back up so that I can turn it back on.
Hey. I didn't realize my camera was off. Thank you, David. I appreciate it. I'll take the way. I'll let them know more about King Kong
Awesome.
Matrix.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Dave.
All right. Have a great rest of the day, guys. Bye.
Appreciate you, David. All righty.